Har Har Mahadev.
Har Har Mahadev. Beautiful, beautiful.
Mahakumbh, the Mahakumbh Mela.
How would you explain what is Kumbh Mela?
A lot of people believe that it's unhygienic, the place is not clean. A lot of people believe that it's only the uneducated people from the lower class of society who are old-fashioned go there. He who strives to achieve the highest truth is a sadhu. We don't know where they live. They live in the Himalayas or in the jungles or in caves. Somehow, at every Kumbh, they're there in hundreds of thousands.
Wow, I never thought about that. There's been already 500 million people
500
already
million.
visit. It's just even hard to imagine. How can you set up a structure, a temporary structure that can accumulate so many people?
It's unbelievable. Only when you experience it, you believe it. You'll meet sadhus of all different types. There are some who are fully unclothed. There's some who have their hand in the raised posture for years. There's some who sleep on a bed of thorns. One of my friends, they visited the camps of Nagha Sadhus. So when they went inside, they asked,
Kumbh Mela, the biggest religious gathering on planet Earth. I had the opportunity to attend it, and it was such a magical experience. I invited Nityananda, who have attended many Kumbh Melas and even wrote a book on it. We spoke about the meaning, the incredible sadhu stories, the misconceptions around it, and the life-changing impact of Kumbh on different people. This is the perfect guide for you to understand it. But before we start, please subscribe and like this video so that we can bring you even better content. Har Har Mahadev.
Har Har Mahadev. Beautiful, beautiful.
Do you think it's a good place to start?
Of course, of course. Har Har Mahadev. It means, oh great Lord, oh great deity, Mahadeva, please take away all my miseries. Hara means to take away, and Hara is also a name of Shiva. So it's a phrase with multiple meanings. One is, oh Hara, oh Mahadeva, because Hara is a name of Shiva. And the other meaning is, Hara is a verbal conjugation. It means, please take away my sorrows, please take away my ignorance, please take away my miseries, and make me reach that state of Sat, Chit, and Ananda. So Hara Hara, take everything away, I'm all yours. Har Har Mahadev. That's where you start, and that's where you end. You know, with everything gone, you're in your natural state.
What a way to start our conversation. At Kumbh, looks like there's a lot of things that connect somehow. And you talk a lot about there's this state of bliss. True. At Kumbh. Maybe for people who haven't been to the Kumbh, how can you describe that state of bliss?
Right. So two things. One is how people connect. Every time I've been to the Kumbh, there has been some random connection, as if there's a divine coincidence. I'll mention, I was at Prayag a few days ago, and I was at the Paramartha Niketan camp of Swami Chidananda Saraswati. Mm-hmm. And we had a mini conference there of speakers, of authors, of some influencers. I met Sadhvi, who is a British lady.
Yeah, I know.
Her name is Sadhvi Divya Prabha, and we started talking. I had heard about her earlier, but then after we got introduced, she introduced herself to the gathering, I introduced myself. I got to know that she was also an investment banker. So I am an investment banker. And then I got to know that she worked at Goldman Sachs, and then Morgan Stanley, and then Citigroup. I have also worked at Goldman Sachs, then Morgan Stanley, and then Citigroup in the same order.
Wow.
And then I came to know that Sadhvi Divya Prabha has a PhD in Sanskrit grammar. Now, I have been a student of Sanskrit grammar for a long time. Wow. So that was another coincidence. And then she is initiated into the Ramanandi Sampradaya, and so am I. So, and I'm talking to this person, it just seems like a divine coincidence. How many points do you connect and you get a pattern? Wow. at one place, I had a chance meeting with somebody who knew Ramanathan Krishnan, the former tennis player who once reached the quarterfinals of Wimbledon. And then he asked me to send a book to him, and I got a call from Ramanathan Krishnan one day. Thanks for sending me this book. That was at Nashik. Similarly at Ujjain. So always, my experience has been when you go to the Kumbh, you meet somebody you would have never expected to meet, and you feel a connect. You feel a connect. And it's only when you speak with people, you talk with them. If you go there quietly, you take, you have a dip and come back, no. But when you talk, when you seek, it's like you get knowledge when you seek it. You get those connections when you seek them. You feel those connections when you look for those connections. So that's one. The other thing is this, the state of bliss, where you forget everything around yourself. Mm-hmm. Everything around yourself, your problems, your personal life, your financial situation, your job, your life in the city, whatever. At the point when you close your eyes and you're at the Kumbh, again, my first dip in the Kumbh was in 2013. When I was there, it was midday. The sun was at its zenith, and I was here in the waves of the Ganga, closing my eyes, and at those few moments, I just forgot everything. Yeah. I'm just there, standing there in the ocean of humanity, at that point which has been held sacred for thousands of years by so many people, by millions, maybe billions of people, my ancestors, their ancestors, people from across the world. You find people from all over India at the Kumbh. You find people from all over the world in the Kumbh. I met a few Japanese people this time. I met people from Latin America, people from Britain, from Germany. And you go there in that din, in that hustle and bustle, amidst so many people. Still, there you can find peace. And that is the state of bliss that one experiences with faith and with a bit of sadhana. So, as the Bhagavad Gita says, Ashantasya kutah sukham. As long as you're not calm, you'll not experience bliss. So, the first thing to experience sukha is shanti. The thing that's required to experience sukha is shanti.
The calm.
Yes, calm or peace. That can be achieved in multiple ways. You can achieve that using meditation, or maybe go to a secluded place like the Himalayas, just be there away from all people. But that can also be achieved right here, right now, in the heart of Mumbai, in the heart of Kumbh. So that's the bliss, which is the real bliss, as opposed to something which you feel temporarily.
It's almost like you're just so centered in that it doesn't matter where you are, you feel peace no matter what happens around you, right?
And that is the natural state of the self, as per Indian philosophical texts.
Yeah.
The three qualities of the self or the Atman are Sat, Chit and Ananda. Consciousness, which is Chit, existence, which is Sat, and Ananda, which is bliss. So at all the times you exist, at all the times, or I exist at all times, I am conscious, and at all times I am blissful. That is my natural state. And everything else is an identity. So once all the identities are gone, that is when one comes to their natural state, where one experiences bliss. And it could be for some time in the day, and then you just go to your office and work. You come back, you play tennis, you go to the gym, you record a YouTube podcast. But then when you come back to your meditation in the morning, or after your chanting, or after all your daily worship, you experience the same bliss every single day. That is what is constant. Everything else will change. A person grows. You're a child, you become an adolescent, then we become adults, middle-aged, old age, but that bliss is still the same. All other experiences will change. How much I enjoy playing tennis today will change later. How much how much fun I have, let's say, writing books may change with time. But that experience of looking inwards and finding peace, that is the same, which is Nitya Ananda. It is Nitya, it is eternal, it's without beginning, without end, because in every form, in every state, in every form, a being can experience that. So it is Nitya and it is blissful Ananda. So that is Nitya Ananda, which is my name, Nityananda.
Wow. So, but it means it's not something that you achieve or outside. It's something that is just within you, right?
It is. That's correct.
That's
correct.
That's what you say.
Yes.
Wow, you had so many experiences you went to so many kumbhs. Was there any experience that you had that was kind of mystical and even hard to explain to people that it happened?
Well, I would say something which was, it's more of a normal experience, but the experience is more deep rather than unbelievable. So I can't explain it because I felt it deeply. Every time I've gone to the Kumbh, I've taken the snana or met people or sadhus or sat with them. I can't pinpoint one single experience where it was so mystical that I can't. But everything was deeply touching in one way or the other. And the sum total of these experiences is what makes it special. That every time you get some experience, for example, in 2019, so I was there with my friend who had come from Bangalore, and he had his parents there with him. So we all went together, and we took a boat from the Yamuna to the Sangam, and we took our own sweet time at the Sangam, at the confluence. And at that time I was thinking, how can I experience peace when there's so many people around me? Not from a sadhu, not from somebody else. It's not something external, it's internal. For those few moments, because the boats come, there's so many people coming one by one, the boats are there. You have just 2 minutes. And in those 2 minutes, I closed my eyes and I was thinking, why can I feel this peace, this sense of peace, this sense of isolation when there's so many people around me? If I focus, I can still hear the noise. But if I focus on my experience, it's all gone. The boats are gone, the people are gone. I forget who I've come with. I forget that I have to go back to Mumbai, to my family. I forget where I'm staying. I forget what time I'll reach back. I forget what time the sun will set. I was lost at that point. I was lost into myself. I lost myself just in that moment. Yes, I'm here, and I've been here for a long time. And that's it. No other experience. For a good 30 seconds or 60 seconds. And then, of course, because people around me, and then I have to go back. So for those 30 seconds, it was a great mystical experience. And then life is back to normal. So that made me think the state of meditation is not something that you need years to achieve. It can be achieved instantly. The state of focus can be achieved instantly. Of course, it takes years of practice, but once you've practiced, I think it's just like you take off your clothes and wear new clothes. So you wear your clothes of your, you wear the meditation clothes for 5 minutes, and you take them off and wear your old clothes again, and that's it. Life goes on as usual. So then it's like what our scriptures say is a Jivan Mukta, somebody who's living and also liberated. And that is where one has to target reaching, where you can easily reach that state of reach that experience of existence, consciousness, and bliss, and then seamlessly move out of it to your daily duties and to your work, to your studio recording, to your office, because liberation or meditation is not something that is to be achieved only in the Himalayas.
Love that.
In the there's a beautiful text called the Kumara Sambhava. It's by Canelas, who's arguably is India's greatest poet ever. And there's a line there where he says, Vikara hetau sati vikriyanti yesham nachetam sita eva dhira. The ones who are really unattached to the world are those whose minds are not perturbed even when they are in the midst of the world and all the distractions are around them. And that is where you have a true test of your journey, your spiritual prowess. You're not distracted even when all the distractions are around you. And that is what I think I felt in 2019 in my stan at the Sangam, in my dip at the Sangam, when I forgot everything else around me. Everything else around me. I'm just here. I am experiencing myself, and I'm experiencing the waters of the Sangam. Wow. The confluence of Ganga, Yamuna, and the mystical, invisible Saraswati. The confluence of knowledge, devotion, and action. The confluence of Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas, which is goodness, passion, and lethargy. The confluence of all the three worlds, the confluence of all the three, times. As here in the past, as I'm here now, I'll be here in the future. So, that's what I would say was my most mystical experience, if you will.
Wow, I love it.
Sure.
Let's go to Kumbh. Maybe I think let's understand a bit about what is Kumbh.
Sure.
How would you explain what is Kumbh Mela to a 10-year-old?
Sure. So a Kumbh, it happens at 4 places in India, and there are other melas also that are called Kumbh, but primarily at 4 places. It is, in a sense, a gathering of people from all walks of life at specific points of time to have a collective experience of divinity. It's all about being together in that experience. You can go to the same places at any time, and you can experience divinity by yourself. But the mela, the word mela itself means melanam mela. It is coming together of people. So the Kumbh Mela is all about thinking together, speaking together, and walking together, which is the spirit of Sangha Chadvam, as I have explained in my book. It's the last sukta of the Rig Veda, where there's a mantra which says, walk together, speak together, and think together. And just like all the deities take their parts in the offering, the yajna, peacefully coexisting, similarly, may your minds be together, may your actions be aligned, may your words agree with each other. So it's a collective experience, which is why it's always advisable to travel to the Kumbh with your family or with your friends. Or even if you go alone, find somebody who you'd experience that divinity with.
There's a lot of people there. So
Sure. And you tend to trust them.
Yeah.
So it happens at 4 places, at Prayag, at Haridwar, at Nashik, Triambakeshwar, and at Ujjain. Usually after 12 years at a place, but after cycles of 6 melas in 72 years, the 7th one is after 11 years. So 83 years for 7 melas. And that's because the mela takes place when the sun and the Jupiter are in specific zodiac signs. Now, since the orbital period of Jupiter is 11.86 years and not 12, so yes, so 11.86 times 7 is close to 83 and not 84. So after 6 Melas and 72 years at a place, the 7th one is held after the 11 years. So, and every time you go there, you'll find the whole world. You'll find people from all walks of life. You'll find people from all areas of India. You'll find people from all areas of the world. Such a beautiful place to experience humanity at its best. Biggest gathering of humanity, and everybody coming together to take a collective experience of divinity and then going back to their places. So you just experience our human spirit in action. That we are, by nature, we are social beings. By nature, we are meant to trust each other. By nature, we are meant to help each other. By nature, we are meant to be together, walk together, think together, and work together. And that's what a Mela is, coming together of people. Yes, there's a time to it, there's a place for it, there is the sacred feeling to it, and the Hindu tradition, but everybody is welcome. And it's a universal message to everybody that together we do whatever best we can. It's by walking together, it's by being together that we can achieve the best that we can.
But apart from that, what about what is the spiritual meaning in terms of what do people achieve when they go to a Kumbh?
Sure. The belief is that at the time when the Kumbh takes place, all the deities are present at that place. So,
I see. Yeah.
Yes. And that place, because of the presence of all deities, it becomes endowed with the nectar of immortality. So the Puranic legend that goes with the Kumbh is that there was a struggle for the nectar of immortality between the deities and the demons, or if you will, or the Asuras and the Devas. And in that struggle, the drops of nectar fell at 4 places. And therefore, once every 12 years, when the sun and the Jupiter are in specific zodiac signs, and the moon as well, that place becomes endowed with immortality, the nectar of immortality. And if really speaking, this nectar of immortality is about the experience, not about the physical immortality. It doesn't mean that people believe that if they go and take a bath in that in the tirtha, they'll become immortal, they'll never die. No, it's not like that. But it's more about the experience there, that it's with faith. If you go at those specific points of time to the Kumbh Mela, then you will get an experience of immortality. And that is meant to wash away all your sins in the past. That soul experience of immortality, that soul experience of Sat Chit and Anand, it takes you away from all that you've done in the past. So that's the deeper spiritual meaning. There is an external gathering, but there's also an internal coming together of all your positive thoughts, all your positive energies, all your sadgunas, and then you realize within yourself that yes, I'm meant to be knowledgeable. I'm meant to realize myself. I'm here to get free from this cycle of life and birth. I'm here to rise above the feeling of this is mine and that is mine. So that's the internal experience that the Kumbh signifies, which is Amrit. That which does not die is Amrit. And what does not die? My existence does not die. My bliss can never die. And my conscious state can never die. So again, coming back to Sat, Chit and Ananda, the confluence of Sat, Chit and Ananda, the external journey is to be supplemented by the internal journey. Your external, even the tirthas that we say, the Kumbh is held at Nashik, Trambakeshwar, at Ujjain, at Prayag, and at Haridwar. All these places, the place is known as a tirtha. There are several types of tirthas. One is the external tirtha that you see. There the rivers are flowing, the rivers are meeting. We consider.
Sorry, what is a tirtha?
The tirtha is a pilgrimage, a place of pilgrimage.
Yeah, okay.
So if you look at Jainism,
Yeah.
their messengers or their jinas are tirthankaras.
Yeah.
They are food makers, as we call them. So the tirthas are of three kinds. One is the tirtha, which is an external tirtha, which is the rivers that we consider sacred, where we believe we go there and we plunge ourselves in those rivers and we get free from the sins. That's the external tirtha. Then these are the sthavara tirthas or the stationary tirthas. There's also jangama tirthas, the walking tirthas. And who are these walking tirthas? These are our teachers, our gurus, our elders, our fathers and mothers, who embody in themselves values which we aspire to achieve. These are the jangama tirthas. And then there is the manasa tirthas, which are the tirthas of the mind. And what are these tirthas? These are truth. These are forbearance. These are helping others, the feeling of helping others, paropakara. These are discrimination, viveka. All these are tirthas. Forgiveness, these are tirthas of the mind. So all these have to come together in that journey. The external journey and the internal journey has to merge, and this is the sangama of the external kumbh and the internal journey.
I think Kumbh, it's something, it's another dimension. Myself, I had the pleasure to attend one Kumbh. I attended Haridwar 2010.
I see.
And I went the day of the most important day of the bath. And for me, the first thing was when I arrived there a little bit, I was staying in Rishikesh, and I came to Haridwar. First they said like, okay, no, it's already past 10, I think, or was it? You cannot enter. But I had so much faith. I wanted to just to explore that I just went with the flow, and somehow I entered the Kumbh, the space. And then I had this incredible experience of I got a space just in front of where the sadhus, they were going to perform the bath. And it was unbelievable, the experience. I mean, seeing them, the energy of them going to the Kumbh, their happiness and their bliss, it was very special. But for me, the entire experience was just also something that I will never forget. I think for me, the energy, the chants all over the place, and also what you mentioned, there was so many things that connected somehow in weird ways.
Somehow something will work.
Something will work, yeah.
God will open a way for you.
Yeah. So I had one really deep experience, and I'm very grateful that I experienced Kumbh at least once in my life.
And also, one thing that we don't notice at first sight is the preparation and the infrastructure.
Yeah, that is insane. Tell us about what is something that is really surprising about the preparation.
It is an ephemeral mega city.
Wow.
It is ephemeral because it's there only for a few months, especially the one in Prayag. Because the area where the Kumbh Mela is held in Prayagraj, around 70 to 80% of that land is under water during the monsoons.
Oh, wow.
So both the Ganga and the Yamuna, when you have the monsoons, 4 months of rain, they flow in a much wider area than in January, February, and March. So the whole area where you have these construction, the camps, that's underwater for a good 4 to 6 months before the Kumbh, or maybe just 3 months. Once the rivers start receding after the monsoons, which is September, October, the authorities have only 3 months to put up everything. Only 3 months to put up everything. So everything is temporary. The roads are temporary. You don't have permanent roads. You have roads with checkered plates. The bridges are temporary. You don't have the pakka pulls or the permanent construction bridges, but they are made of pontoons which float with water, float on the water. The electricity connections, the water connections, the sanitation, the shops there, the police stations, there's even court inside it. So it's a separate city on its own. This time in the Mela, the Kumbh Nagari, the region where the Kumbh happens, was accorded the status of a district, a temporary district. So it's a temporary district with its temporary police stations, temporary courts, temporary hospitals, temporary shops for disposing everything for public distribution, temporary facilities, temporary lighting, temporary water connections. Everything is just for that period of 6 weeks, around 6 weeks when the Kumbh takes place. And after people have left, it's all taken down.
Wow.
So it's a city which comes up only for this Kumbh. And it is every year because the Mahakumbh Mela takes place every single year, which is at a much smaller level. Just that every 12th year, the Mahakumbh Mela becomes the Kumbh Mela. So they do it every year, but it's on a much bigger scale during the Kumbh, every 12 years or every 11 years or 12 years, because after 6 cycles, it's the 7th one is in the 83rd year. So it's all temporary in structure, and that's fascinating. That is what has invited studies from all over the world. How do you build up an ephemeral mega city with its own police station, with its own courts, with its own sanitation, with its own roads, with water connections, with fire services, with ambulances, just for 6 weeks on the sands, on the river sands.
It's unbelievable. And how they can prepare for a gathering like this one, last one, there's been already 500 million people
500 million.
Visit. It's just even hard to imagine how can you set up a structure, a temporary structure that can accumulate so many people.
It's amazing.
It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. It's only when you experience it you believe it.
Yeah.
Or only when you see the photographs and the videos you get to know. Well, I was at Kumbh, and when we were getting out, we were stuck in traffic jams, which extended to 3 or 4 kilometers. And I had to take a bike to go back from the Mela area to the airport. Otherwise, had I taken a car, it would have taken me 4 hours to reach the airport. I was on a bike, riding behind the rider and holding my bag so I could reach within 90 minutes. But the number of people is huge. It's unimaginable. This time it is 25 sectors on which the Mela was held, the biggest ever in the history of Kumbhas. Yes, it's just you have to be there to believe it. The scale is amazing. To manage so many people coming in and going out, it's a miraculous achievement. As many as 20 or 30 government departments work together. Both the state government and the central government work together. Everything is coordinated because the water connections are managed by one department, the electricity connections are managed by some other department, the police is managed by some other department. So it's not just coming together of the 3 rivers, it's not just coming together of so many people, it's also coming together of the government machinery. In fact, Mark Tully had a book on Kumbh. He was a famous BBC reporter in India for a long time. And his book was on the 1989 Mela in Prayag. And what he wrote was, in the book was, the Indian administration, which is not very famous, which is infamous for its inefficiency usually, somehow gets everything done efficiently in the Kumbh Mela. Somehow everything works, and people just go and have a great experience.
Yeah, I mean, you have been fascinated by Kumbh. You've been to so many, and even you wrote a book. Is there something that frustrates you about some misconception that normally people have about the Kumbh?
A lot of people believe that it's unhygienic. A lot of people believe that it's the place is not clean. A lot of people believe that it's only the uneducated and people from the lower class of society who are old-fashioned go there. No, that's nothing like that. If you see, there are international scholars coming there. The richest of the rich are there. You have the richest man in India, Ambani, going there with his family. You had the second richest man, Adani, going there with I'm not sure if he went with his family, but the richest of the rich come there, the poorest of the poor come there. It's really a gathering of humanity. It's really a gathering of as diverse people as you can think. Many people think that it's only for people in the north of India. No, nothing like that. If every Kumbh I've been to, I've met people from the south, people from northeast of India, people from the west are definitely there. So people from all over the world, from East Asia, from the US, from Latin America, from Europe. So it's not a gathering of just old-fashioned people who have faith in and they have nothing to do with rationalism. No. There are a lot of rational minds at work. That's why the organization is spectacular. That's why they can come up with this ephemeral mega city. The place is by and large very clean. See, I know people who walk barefoot in the sands on the riverbeds as they move, because they believe they have so much faith towards that sacred space that we won't wear slippers or shoes. So people can walk barefoot. It's well organized. A lot of people have this misconception that people can get lost at Kumbh Melas, and that's been it's been one of the favorite themes in Bollywood movies.
Oh.
The way, in the 70s, in the 80s, it was a recurring theme in Bollywood movies that two brothers or two sisters got lost at the Kumbh Mela and then they united years later. There were jokes about this in our childhood. But the number of people that are lost and the number of people that are reunited with their families, if you see, most of the people that get lost in the Mela are reunited with their families within hours. And this has become even better with technology.
Yeah.
There's a case I've highlighted in my book where somebody who was a family elder from Rajasthan who was lost in the 2013 Mela was reunited with his family after 6 years. He didn't have memory of his family or his place, so he had lost his memory. He got separated from his family, but somehow the authorities, they reunited him with his family after 6 years. So it's only maybe the unfortunate few who can't get reunited, but most of the people who are lost are reunited. You have ATMs, you have round-the-clock electricity, you have internet connections. So once you go there, all these myths are broken.
Beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah. So another experience, what you say about like how does it feel that
people come together and people just help each other.
Yeah.
Nobody goes hungry there. Economists say there's no free lunch, but if you come to the Kumbh Mela, 500 million people, even if that number is exaggerated, even if we think it's 250 million or 300 million, 500 million people coming, and who's feeding them all? Well, a good number of people have the money to buy food, but there's hundreds of millions of people who are being fed for free by large organizations. There are corporates donating money for this. There are rich people donating money for this, just to have people eat food for free. There's ISKCON doing this. There's so many other organizations doing it. You go to Sector 6 and you'll find a huge Om Namah Shivaya, we call it a Bhandara. Just the line to get inside can accommodate 500 people. So 500 people stand in queue, then you get to sit and then you get to eat. Imagine thousands of people, if not 10,000, if not 20,000, then at least thousands of people are eating there every day for free. And this food is wholesome. It is hygienic. The place where I was staying, Paramartha Niketan, they had a blanket distribution camp. So people like People who come from abroad or people who can afford it, they'll carry their own blankets. But it gets very cold in the night. People who've come from villages, people who can't afford blankets, they're given free blankets.
Wow.
And there's a long line of people. They all come peacefully, they get their blanket, they go out for free. The food in the camp was free. We were given free food.
Mm-hmm.
We were given free stay.
Mm-hmm.
Just because
Wow.
there was this conference gathering, so the Swamiji said, okay, let's welcome all of you. So I didn't have to pay for my food. I didn't have to pay for my stay.
Wow.
And there's so many other camps that if you don't have a place to sleep, you say, okay, I want to sleep, you come inside and sleep here.
Wow. It's unbelievable experience. Yeah. I think also something that I would like you to tell us more. It's about the sadhus, which is a big part of the festival. Tell us about what kind of sadhus and what do they do there?
Yes, sadhus. Sadhus are the most noticeable people in the Kumbh, and rightfully they have the first right. When we say the right of way is for the sadhus, they have the first right to bathe in the Kumbh at all auspicious days, on all auspicious days. So, what is a sadhu? Or who is a sadhu? Sadhnoti iti sadhu. He who strives to achieve something. He who strives to achieve the highest truth is a sadhu. These sadhus have lived in India for times immemorial. So when the Greeks came to India, during the time of Alexander or before, they noticed these gymnosophists who were the unclothed sadhus, the naked sadhus. And they live away from their house. They have left their house for good. They are initiated into one of the 13 akhadas, which are the organizations of sadhus. Some of them are unaffiliated, so they are independent. Around the year, we don't know where they live. They live in the Himalayas or in the jungles or in caves, but not in the cities, because you don't find so many sadhus living in any city. So maybe outside the cities, in forests, in caves, in mountains. Somehow, at every Kumbh, they're there, in hundreds of thousands.
Wow, I never thought about that. Yeah.
Yes. These days, they have mobile phones. Some of them have laptops.
Yeah.
But think about it, before 90s, in the 80s or 70s, no mobile phones, no laptops. These are sadhus who have renounced everything in the world, so they don't read newspapers. But somehow, at the Kumbh, they come together. They come together and they bless everybody else. So people take their blessings, people bow down to them. They have their camps, they have their own flags, their own signs, their own tilakas. There are seven akhadas of Shaiv sadhus and some Vaishnava akhadas. There are Sikh akhada as well. So these sadhus are essentially the living tradition of asceticism in India. The tradition that was there, in Jainism and Buddhism also they had monks or shramanas. In Hinduism we had sadhus. So they represent a very old tradition where for the higher good, one leaves everything in the world and the world supports such a person. It's not, and nobody feels superior because they are giving something to them. It's our duty to worship them or to revere them or to serve them and to help them achieve their goal. So it's again the coming together of the householders and the sadhus is what we see in this Mela. You'll meet sadhus of all different types. There are some who are fully unclothed. There's some who will have their hand in the raised posture for years.
Wow.
So that's another sadhana. There's some who sleep on a bed of thorns. You'll find such videos on the internet. There's some who have mastered the hatha yogas to such an extent that they'll demonstrate very difficult asanas, moving seamlessly from one asana to the other and mesmerizing onlookers. You can find that on videos. There's some who will demonstrate their prowess by lifting heavy objects with their genitals. or pulling vehicles with it. And all this is, yes, this is all a spectacle, but it's all a part of the Mela where you feel a sense of devotion, or you feel a sense of respect for these sadhus. They have left everything. They don't have anybody in the world. But at the Kumbh, they come together and they're given the first right to bathe in the waters by everybody in the society. Even the police, even householders, even the authorities, everybody moves when the sadhus arrive. So you'd have seen this video where the sadhus are marching and all the people, they just move. And we offer them the highest respect because they represent the tradition of knowledge, where you're just focused on one goal in life and the society supports you. One of my friends, they visited the camps of Nagha Sadhus. A good friend of mine who's also my colleague, they showed me the photographs when they went there. I could not because I had some other meeting in 2019. So when they went inside, they asked, can we take photographs? And they said, why not? They're fully unclothed and they're just not impacted by photographs or by cameras or by videos. It's unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. Like to experience. I mean, I think one thing that at least I learned is about devotion. I think it's an extreme, but also there's something that we can learn about. Like when you believe in something,
right,
you go for it. That's what I get from them. Nice. We're coming to the end, and maybe you at the end, maybe you can share like how did the Kumbh impacted you in your spiritual life?
How did the Kumbh impact my spiritual life? There have been many ups and downs in my life. I've had successes and failures in personal life, in professional life, in my writing journey, and every time I've been to the Kumbh, I get inspiration. I get inspiration that whatever the external circumstances, a person must continue to strive for excellence. Whether you succeed, whether you fail, which is the message of the Karma Yoga in the Bhagavad Gita. Whether you're successful or whether you fail, one must never stop striving for excellence and keep on working, keep on pursuing excellence in whatever you do. And that's the experience that that's the learning that I've had from all these melas. Because every time you go there, you find people, you find sadhus who are sitting in Ujjain in 40 or 45 degrees temperature and performing the Agni Sadhana with 12 burning fires around them, one pot of burning fire on the top of their head. How do they do it? If they get discouraged, how would they do it? No, they won't. If they don't have faith in themselves, how would they do it? No. So many people, they just come to the Kumbh with their families, with small children, with baggage on the top of their head, walking. There are people who come walking from not just the railway station in Prayag to the Kumbh, which takes a few hours. There are people who come walking from the village, hundreds of kilometers away, to Prayag. If you read Mark Tully's book in 1989, that's when he says people had just come walking 20 or 30 days to reach there. So with that faith in a higher truth, if they can walk 20 or 30 days with luggage, with children, just to be there, to keep their faith, how strong is that faith and if we have such a strong faith in ourselves, why would we not achieve what we aspire to achieve? So that's one learning I get from every Kumbh, which I've experienced, that your journey must never stop. Just like the melas never stop. People keep coming and going, and no matter what trouble they have getting in, getting out, and no matter what experience they have, at the end of the day, it's all about life continuing and you aspiring for whatever you wish. You're aspiring for success, or you're aspiring for the higher truth. Just going ahead on that path without looking back, without thinking too much about what will happen if this goes wrong or that goes wrong. That's the experience which I would say is the learning. That's the learning which I would say I've had from the Kumbh. All the ups and downs in life that I've had over from 2013 to 12 years of my experience of Kumbhas, every time I was there, it was a different situation I was in. It was a different state of life I was in. And every time I found inspiration that life goes on, and no matter how many ups and downs you have in life, no matter how many failures you have in life, one must never give up. One must always keep walking.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
I love it. Well, thank you so much. For me, I think it was special to have this conversation because I had a very beautiful experience at Kumbh, but I'm happy that you helped me to understand, go beyond also my experience and go deeper. So thank you so much for sharing your knowledge about Kumbh as well as your personal experiences.
Thank you, and thank you for having me here. I must say that I'm equally impressed by your pursuit of spirituality.
Thank you.
And coming from the West, coming from Portugal, I believe, being as Indian as one can be. You know, you've been to the Kumbh Mela, you practice meditation, you're into yoga, and we're also dressed in similar colors today. So I feel like in some previous birth, in some former birth, we would have known each other really well in India.
Yeah.
So it's a connect, it's a Mela that we are having today. We feel connected at a level where we wouldn't have thought we could connect.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.